Pacific Sport Fishing Alliance, Larry Hansen. We're going to do a recap of our phenomenal Alaska trip. It was so fun and so cool. And every time I think about it, I get goosebumps. And Larry and I are getting ready to take a bunch of guys fishing up in Adolfo's Lopez Mateos. If you've ever seen Larry and I do a seminar, we always talk about if we only had one place left to fish on the planet Earth, it would be Adolfo's Lopez Mateos. So we are both super excited about the groups that we're taking up there. But real quick, I just want to touch base. Pacific Sport Fishing Alliance, huge supporter of the show. Larry Hansen and his family over there. I appreciate everything you do for KellyGirl and I. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and then fishingbooker.com, also big sponsor of the show. Thank you for everything you guys do over there. And then we got so many different things going on. Captain Justin will be live fishing lobsters tomorrow night. We're looking forward to that.
Really exciting.
It's very exciting.
So I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
He had a phenomenal trip the other night.
Back to back. 285 lobsters the first night.
Crazy.
And
that's incredible.
49 legals. And then the next night he went and fished in the harbor with his buddy Anthony, and they had full limits for 3 guys in the harbor. So it doesn't seem to matter where he goes unless Larry's with him. And then the whole thing changes. But we're going to bring Larry in here. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get this show started. Hi, Larry. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. And I want to thank you for taking such good care of KellyGirl. Larry is one of the most gracious hosts I've ever met. He gave us his personal bedroom when we came up there and stayed.
And it was humongous, and this humongous bathroom attached to it, and a humongous walk-in closet. I felt like, oh my, it was bigger than our house here. The whole thing. It
just the bedroom's bigger than our house.
You went above and beyond, Larry. We really loved it.
I mean, I just had one question: is that all my underwear seemed like it was tried on? What happened with that?
Don't tell me I left a pair of underwear.
No.
They're Dave's. If they're pink, they're Dave's.
Nice.
It was fun, yes.
But just every part of the experience, that flight over from Juneau on that little plane, you told me it was cool, but it was it was
pretty awesome.
Kelly knows I hate flying, so she was kind of worried about that. I was like a little kid in a candy store, Larry, when we flew over all those beautiful islands and that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
He may have shed a tear. I don't know. You were about to cry. I know. I looked over at you and it looked like you were going to cry. But you were.
That's awesome, man. It's just an awesome location, and I'm so glad you guys made it up. And it got some really great weather, and you guys, got really lucky with the weather. We killed a bunch of fish, and the guys had a good time, and it was just, everything was good, man. It's just couldn't ask for anything better. And that's kind of the way it is up there. Sometimes it rains an awful lot, and it didn't this time. We got a little bit, and just enough to get the salmon rolling and the bears active, and it was awesome.
We also I was just going to say that Larry also gave Jamie and me a personal tour of Gustavus, a little, told us some histories about Gustavus, and that was really fun. I enjoyed that.
Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, sometimes it's I want to do is go fishing, and it's good for me to get out sometimes. And my wife will tell you, it's like you can't go kill fish all day every day. And I'm like, well, you can, but I understand sometimes. And so it was great getting out and seeing the sights again, and seeing the whale skeletons and the history of the town, and sharing that with people because I take it for granted. And sometimes throughout the year, I'm looking at people are telling me how great it was. I'm like, yeah, let's go kill some fish, right? but it's really important. It's really rewarding to go see it. And the enthusiasm of you and Jamie was great, because to me it's just another touristy thing to do. But you guys were excited, and then that got me excited, and then then I had to go find something else exciting, and then so it was great. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
We really did.
And gang, I want you to all understand the very thing that Larry tried to emphasize with me, but I didn't understand it, was this is bucket list lifetime adventure fishing. It was 10 times more than you could say it was, Larry. I am still on a super high from the trip. It was everything I could imagine, plus. It was just, nobody's there. The town, what you said, maybe you go and you look online and it says 600 people, but like you were saying, maybe 300, but you don't see anybody. It's crazy.
No. You know, maximum 20 boats, you know, you fish in places like Ketchikan or Juneau, you know, and there's 600 boats out in a day. And, you know, we're lucky if we get 10 out in a day, and you know, everybody dissipates. And, you know, that the couple of days, you know, we fished up in the park there, never saw one boat all day. You know, we had the whole place to ourselves, an entire national park to ourselves all day. So that's the reason I moved over to that location, just for that reason. You know, that it's like you have your entire backyard to yourself. And yeah, we get a little pressure in the summer and a couple hot locations. You know, there might be 6 boats, but it's great the fact that we're not fishing around 600 of your best friends.
Oh, no, there's nobody there. Really, to be honest, there's no one there. Even when there's people there, there's no one there. It's incredible. And the fishing was about as good as you could ask for. If Larry told us if he said, hey, we're going to go catch halibut, we went and caught halibut. If he said, hey, we're going to go catch lingcod, we went and caught lingcod. He told me, go out there in the river, take these guys out in the river. The river fishing for me was about as good as you could possibly imagine. We caught coho, salmon, we caught dolly barden, we caught cutthroat.
You saw a bear.
I saw bear three
too.
times. The last day we were there, Larry and I and Mike and Ron all got to see the bear first thing in the morning. Scared the hell out of me, Larry.
Up close and personal, yeah.
I begged Larry to unlock the door of the truck. I got to get in.
Because Dave and I, before we left for the trip, we decided to watch a bunch of YouTube videos on bear attacks, you know, and what to do, what not to do. So, you know,
Yeah,
bear.
you got to do stupid stuff like that. But
that was fun.
And then Kelly and I can't even emphasize the fact that Larry would work his ass off all day long. We'd go fishing at 7 in the morning, but he would start at 5:30, gang. We would get on the boat at 7, but at 5:30, Larry's up, getting the breakfasts ready, getting everything ready. Then we fish with them all day long. And we get home and he doesn't even slow down. It's straight into making you
Oh my God.
the best salads,
The best food.
meal.
The best food, Larry. Oh my gosh. I think that's probably what I enjoyed the most.
You would have thought there was a chef there, but it was all Larry.
Larry goes all out.
All out, man, all out.
All
Nonstop. Nonstop. Never slow down.
You don't. You don't.
I don't, like I told you when I was leaving, I don't know how you do it because I was annihilated, tired, and I used to be pretty good at it, but I'll tell you what, that wore me out, just watching you work your butt off. And then taking Kelly over and giving her a tour of your processing plant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hooked to your property. It's the coolest thing. And Jesse and Carmen, they run that place like a well-oiled machine. It's incredible, gang. If you have an opportunity or you want to be a part of this, the club, what you're doing with the club members, it's so bitchin'. There's so much stuff that people don't understand that you're able to do because you're a member of your club. So why don't we talk about that? Kelly and I have talked about how bitchin' it is, but talk about how other people can get involved.
Sure. So we do it a couple of different ways, Dave and Kelly. We do it where we run some trips to expose people to our club, and basically it's a private club. You join it once, you pay to get in the club, and then anywhere the club goes, anywhere the club has a property, anywhere the club wants to go do something, you go at cost. It's pretty simple. When you want to get out, we buy your membership back from you, and while you're in it, you get to go to these bitchin' locations. And you all know, all of you guys know. I mean, Dave, we're fishing next to guys that are spending, triple what our members are spending. We're fishing right in the same next same spot as those guys, and it's what I understood, getting into this thing. And I'll say this over and over again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it till the day I die. We don't do the club to make money. The club actually breaks even or loses money every year. We do it as a lifestyle to expose you guys like you and Mike and Ronnie B and all those guys came before, we do this thing as a lifestyle and to expose them for people, standard working people, that aren't rich people that can fly their own planes and things. We do it to help those guys experience bucket list type trips. The Lopez Mateos thing we're doing, the Alaska, the Bahia Sanglis, the long range stuff, the San Diego stuff, the lobster hooping. We do all of that to let guys do this at a cost that's reasonable. In addition to that, there's a bunch of bells and whistles that we have with the club. You know, we control a bunch of condo inventory all over the world, where when guys aren't fishing with me, I'm sending their wives to Alaska, or excuse me, to Hawaii in an oceanfront condo, you know, to vacation. You know, we have things all over the world for our members to do. And then we fill that in with, you know, with tackle discounts. You know, we have Abbott, we have Okuma, and we have Promar, and we have hookup baits, and we have 50 different things, guys. That's just a few of them that we have that all our members get at cost. You know, anything from fluorocarbon leader to braid to hooks to jigs to you know, swordfish setups to whatever, which is our next big thing, which we haven't even talked about yet. It's still in my mind, trying to get something going with the swordfish deal. But you know, the basic part of it is, listen, guys, you know, this thing isn't going to get big. It's going to be small. We're probably going to take between 15 and 20 more members, and then we're going to stop. And then if you want to get in, you got to wait till somebody dies or gives up their membership. So we're going to keep it a real small club, real tight knit, and guys, where we can manage the thing and take small groups to Alaska, and small groups to Lopez, and small groups to Bahia, and small groups lobster hooping, and small groups sword fishing, and that kind of stuff. We got some stuff set up with a client of mine who owns a place in the Keys in Isla Morada. We're going to do some stuff in the Keys next year. So the club, you know, it's hard for me to say what all is in it because there's just so much. You know, send me an email. My number, Dave's got the QR code up. Send me an email. Give me a call. Our cell phone number's all over the place. You know, and we'll talk about it. If you want to get in, great. If you don't, guess what, guys? Somebody else will. It's that good, you know. And guys don't realize it till they do a trip or two, and they say, hey, you know, and we can do it because we're not in this business to try to make a bunch of money. I made my money in a different business, what I'm doing now. You know, we do this so guys can get in and experience the lifestyle just like you guys did.
Yeah, we can't emphasize enough how spectacular it was, how wonderful it was. Your little house there, your little 4-bedroom house is beautiful location with that garden, or that whatever you call it, the garden in the backyard where the moose walks through, and the barbecue area with the overhang, and then the mud room, and then you get inside the home, and it is just about as comfortable as you can imagine. And then hanging out with everybody every night, having dinner and telling stories and doing all the fun stuff that you guys can't even comprehend, because most places you go to, when the trip done fishing, then you're out there on your own trying to figure out, where do we go eat? Where do we do this? Where do we do that? La, da, da, da. It's all taken care of. And I can't wait to come to Adolfo's Lopez Mateos and see what you've done to the beautiful hotel there and all, because I love that place. And I'm super excited about this next journey that you're taking me on to see that stuff. And gang, there's so much misconception about Mexico. And the thing about going with Larry or coming down there with me on this trip, Kelly and I live here in Mexico. So when you guys tell us how dangerous it is, we just look at each other and go, what are we missing? Yeah, we don't understand.
We live here and we don't hear about anything bad happening.
But when you go to Alaska with Larry, you don't have to think. He's got it all figured out already. You just do what Larry says, and everything kind of clicks and goes together. And I can't wait to see Adolfo's Lopez Mateos and how
that's so excited.
I am super excited. That's my place. So, but Alaska's my new place. I can't wait to go back to Alaska. That was so fun.
Excellent. Hopefully we'll be able to make that annual event with your members signing on. So we'll set some dates aside next year and get some feedback from these guys. It's all been good so far, you know, other than the fact that the captain got a little obnoxious a couple of times with the guys tangling up rods and stuff. But other than that, it was pretty good, right? I mean, didn't get too crazy on that stuff. But Lopez Mateos, you know, that's our next big focus. You know, we got the nice hotel where we're making some improvements to it. We can't make it. It's really hard to make it just like Alaska because we've got that bitchin' processing plant. We can smoke fish and we got this huge walk-in freezers. And, you know, I mean, that place is set up for fishing. You know, Lopez Mateos is a little more remote. You know, it's a little logistics, a little tougher. but we really want to take some of the things we've learned in Alaska, that the carrying of the fish and the processing and how we do it and how we portion it and how we bleed everything and how it's, commercial 5 mil bags and commercial back sealers. All that stuff is being put in place in Lopez, not on the same scale, obviously, but for people to come in, the tackle that we use, the ability to go out there. And we're talking bucket list fish, guys. I mean, there's not many places in this world where you can go and catch a snook over 50 pounds. I'm sorry, but anywhere in Mexico, you guys live there. I'm pretty sure nobody does down in Cabo catch a 50-pound snook. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of guys in Cabo catching a 100-pound grouper. Okay, I'm not sure. You can get the wahoo down there. I mean, Lopez Mateos is one of those special places, as you know, Dave, where you can get in that boat and, man, you just don't know what you're going to catch. And the reason why I like it there so much is the ability to go out and catch a wahoo. I mean, last year, went out there and caught wahoo up to 80 pounds. On the way back, we trolled up a bunch of tuna up to 50 pounds. And then to top it all off, we trolled up a mako shark. That's in one day. One day, right? I mean, this is the kind of experience we're talking about, guys. There's not many places in this world you go on a trailer boat. Yeah, you can get a long-range boat and go out there and spend your time there and 3 days down and 3 days back. And if that's cool. I like to ride a long-range boats. That's cool. There's not a lot of places you can go in this world and in one day get a bunch of bucket list fish. The grouper fishing, I think, is underrated in Lopez. We turn most of them loose. We keep a couple for dinner, and we turn most of those loose. Obviously, that mangrove fishing is world class, and there's so much of it, as Dave will tell you. And that's what Dave's going to do here next week. We're taking down the boat and getting a travel vehicle and placed a Suburban to pick guys up at the airport and transport them. So we're doing all that on Tuesday. We're headed down, and then Dave will be there on Thursday. But guys, listen. If you haven't done it, the cool part about it is that Dave said, and what's key to this is you don't have to think. You can think. You can think about what gear you want to bring and how bitchin' you want to be and what you want to do, or you can go, hey guys, make sure I got all that casting equipment, make sure I got some spinners, make sure I got the right jigs, make sure I got 130-pound leaders so I catch me big snook, make sure you catch me a big grouper, and all you got to do is just show up, right? And that's what guys came to me and said, hey. There's a lot of guys, obviously the guys that can trailer boat themselves and are good at that stuff, more power to them. We put them there at the hotel. They'll go out and fish. We still put them up. We'll process their fish. But listen, guys, we got a guy there between Nestor and Ruben. Dave will tell you, these guys have spent their entire lives there. Those are our skippers, and they know how to get out of the Boca. They got spots there that none of us could fish in a lifetime. These are the guys that run the trips for us. Nestor and Ruben Duran. And these guys are serious fishermen. So if you want to show up at a place and go, here I am, take me to the most bitchin' locations, this is the place to be. And we're going to be doing a bunch of videos, I'm sure, Dave, and doing a bunch of cool stuff. The weather looks great. I just talked to Nestor this morning. We just got one group just out there, got a bunch of tuna and some wahoo, and we just left this morning and looking forward. It's going to be an awesome trip.
Yeah, the thing about Nesto and his father, Ruben, they've lived there their whole lives. So they know every little rock and every little crevice. And probably the best part about Adolfo Lopez Mateos is you cannot lose a day because of weather. And that's the biggest problem. Like, people come here to our house in Cabo, and there can be 3 days. You can have 3 days and you cannot fish any one of those days because of weather. In Adolfo's Lopez Mateos, gang, it is a massive, massive bay. It's Magdalena Bay. So there are so many places where you don't have to leave the bay. And if you want to catch a grouper, Ruben and Nesto know all these stones right out in front of the hotel that have broomtail grouper all over them. And we're fishing in 20 feet of, here's something crazy, Larry. We're fishing in 20 feet of water. We're using 200-pound leader and 80-pound braid. And people are like, what? And I'm going, we're catching 30-pound broomtail grouper, but there's big giant rocks, and they're going, but they're not line shy. It's just an epic fishery. And as far as putting the price out there, EJ, we have Larry's phone number and Larry's QR code. We'd much rather you chat with Larry, because if we just throw a price out, people are going to go, oh. It has nothing to do with the price. You need to talk to Larry personal and find out what it's all about. I can't just throw a price out there. Yeah, we have a price, but that's not what this is about. You need to understand the experience, all the different things. And then if you're kind of on the fence and you don't know if you want to be a member, then you can come on one of these sponsored trips that Larry does, where I take 6 of our members and we go up there for 2 different weeks, or we go down to Adolfo's, like these guys that are coming on this trip. The first group, they won the trip for 2 that Larry gave away for War Heroes on Water. And I can't thank you enough for that, Larry. Just so you know, this year, War Heroes on Water raised $1.5 million for the vets. That's a mind-boggling number, and that's because of generosity of people like you and everybody else that helped the War Heroes. So thank you for that, Larry. So the first group of guys are coming down there, and they're going to get to see what it's all about. Then the second group of guys are coming down there. They're going to get to see what it's all about. And I can't tell you enough of how important it is to call Larry on the telephone, because I talk to him 2 or 3 times a month and I didn't get it. I thought I understood it. It's way more than Larry makes it out to be. It's way better. It's I can't emphasize enough how incredible it is. Now my life, I got to fish for the last 55 years, and KellyGirl's sitting right here as a testament. I'm not making this up, gang. I was wowed the whole time I was in Alaska.
He was.
I was just.
He's still talking about it, and
It was all that, Larry. So try to explain to people, they want the price to come out here and call you, right?
Call me. We have a few different options, how many guys you want to fish with. If you have your own group, if you want to join one of our groups, so there's a lot of variables. These trips that you and I are on, Dave, this one, they're full, guys. Sorry, they're full. You should have got them earlier. We may add some more, depending how much Dave wants to fish this year. We may add some more later in the season, but these trips are full. But we have the rest of the season open. We got quite a few bookings, but it really depends on, how many days I want to fish, how many days I want to stay, how many guys I'm fishing with, where I want to go. Obviously Lopez Mateos, you're looking at, anywhere from, 10 minutes from the dock to go catch grouper and snook and pargo and stuff to 2.5 hours to go out the Outer Banks and get the Thetis and the 23 and the 6 so those are longer trips and obviously we have cost involved with fuel and things. So it really, we kind of customize each trip for the guys. And, there's some guys, I'm kind of one of those guys sometimes I don't want to fish with anybody, so sometimes I just take the whole boat and I go. There's guys that come and do that with me in Alaska, and so that's gonna depend on your pricing a little bit. And then, to be honest with you guys, I'm just gonna throw this out there, and you can say what you want about me or Dave, or at least about me. You can say what you want about me, but this isn't for everybody. I may get done talking with you guys, and you go, hey, you know what? That's not for me. Because we want you guys to learn. We want you guys to be able to kind of help teach you how to rig your own stuff and cast your own jigs, because we want to help you become a better fisherman. If you want to hook and hand on a marlin, I'm going to send you the right guy. That's not me. I'm not going to go out there and get on a boat and troll all day long for marlin and pitch a bait and hand it off to you and say, here you go. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's the kind of guy you are, and that's the guy, that's how you want to fish, I'm fine with that. That's just not how we fish. Guys that we fish with, can at least handle the rod, and they want to learn, and they appreciate that, and they appreciate, especially when Dave comes along. The guy's got 55 years of fishing experience. When you guys are out there, use it. Don't tell him how to do it. Let him tell you how to do it, right? He may have 1 or 2 more days experience than you do, maybe. So that's what we do. We try to get guys out there. So the good part about us guys is we're not going to take you on a boat ride and take your money. Okay. If we can't go out there and catch fish, we're not going. We had one day this year in Alaska where I just didn't feel we were catching fish. The weather was shitty. Oh, can't say that. The weather was bad one day. And we just got together as a group, say, we're going to go do something else. We still fished all day. We just didn't fish offshore that day. And so the point of all that and talking about all that is it's best to have a conversation with me. And that way, if nothing else, you'll get this information. You go, hey, that guy pointed me in the right direction, and he didn't take my money and take me on a trip that I didn't absolutely love. Because if we can't provide, the first thing I ask guys is, first thing I asked these guys when they got to Alaska, the first thing I asked this group is, what's important to you? What's important to you guys? One of the guys on this last trip, guys, the most important thing in was catch rockfish on bait. Great. We did that. We did that for a whole afternoon, right? And we did that. That was important to him. But they were big rockfish, and there was a bunch of them. And that was something he wanted to do. And so we did it. So the first thing we do, we get down there, you might not want to go catch a 50-pound snook, or you might not want to catch a grouper. You might want to catch a mako shark. You might want to catch sand bass. I don't know. I like sand bass. They're cool. I like bay bass too. You may want to do what Dave does and go in the mangroves all day long and throw live bait up in there and trick those fish. You might want to cast, we're casting a lot of stick type baits and catch. One of my favorite things is to catch a snook and spargo on those small, Shimano style stick baits, the surface style stuff, the jerk baits, twitch baits, whatever you want to call them. That's one of my things. So you might want to do that. We have gear to do that. So the key to part is know what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, we'll help you decide what you want to do.
And then something you were talking about a second ago, when you guys go offshore out of Adolfo's, Lopez Mateos, you're going to what we call the Ridge. Now, I've been lucky enough to fish my whole life, and the Ridge was bucket list for most people. You're never going to get to experience long range boat. Let's just say 9-10-day trip to go fish where you're going to fish on Larry's Parker right out in front of the hotel. There's 25-30 mile ride to get out there, not a 900-mile ride on the long range boats, 20-30 mile ride. And the bycatch, while you're fishing wahoo and tuna and grouper and snook, the bycatch swimming around everywhere you go are marlin. So That's why Larry was saying, it's not focusing on marlin because there's so much other cool stuff. But yeah, if you want to catch a marlin, it's pretty much almost a guarantee. There's so many marlin there, but nobody really wants to fish for them when they come out of there. They want to get a wahoo. They want to get a tuna. They want to catch one of those big snook on the bottom or a big broomtail grouper, which is all there. And like Larry said, if you want to catch sand bass, you catch a billion of them. They eat everything. Every piece of iron you drop down to the bottom, it's full speed, big 5-pound sand bass. And in the bay, you could stop anywhere in the bay and catch spotted bay bass. That's like a bycatch while we're trying to catch bait. I'm on the back of the boat, catching them on my spinning rod while Nesto's standing on the bow, throwing the net, trying to get me as much live bait as he can. It's super magical there.
Exactly. And just think about that for a second, guys. Just what Dave said. Last year we're out there, I'm pulling right next to somebody, Kerry Dotson Success. I mean, he's up there with guys, and they're spending $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a guy to go out there, and we're fishing right next to him on that and catching the wahoo right next to him. We're fishing next to Constitution. We're fishing next to all the long range fleet. Out there, we're talking to them. We're on the radio with them, and we're fishing literally right next to them there. But we get to go home and sleep in our beds at night and go out and do it again the next day. And those guys took 3 days to get down there, as Dave said. That's where they're going. They're coming to us, and there's a reason they're coming to us. That ridge out there, it's big. It's big areas. Dave well knows. But they're coming to where we fish. We're not going to where they go. They're coming to us because it's just that good. I mean, think about that for a second. You get a long range boat with 30 guys on there, and he's catching enough wahoo and tuna and dorado and all that stuff for 30 guys. We only got to catch enough for 4, right? So it's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. We go out there, and instead of fighting the rail with 30 your best friends or your best drinking buddies, not so much. You're fishing with 3 or 4 of your buddies, and then you can cast a jig, and you can drop a bait, and you can do stuff without getting all tangled up. So there's a lot to be said for that. There's nothing wrong with long range fishing. I still love it, for about 3 days, and then I kind of get over it. But I still want to do 1 or 2 long range trips a year. It's a great way to go. This is just an alternative to do that. And the one thing is those long range guys don't do, guys. And there's a couple of them. Kerry does a little bit, and some of those guys, but majority of them aren't going to go fish snook. They're not going to go fish grouper. They're not going to come up inside and do the stuff that we do. They just can't. You can't take 30 long range guys and go out there and target grouper. You'd have a mutiny on board, and they'd be throwing the captain over. If he's said, "I'm going to go fish grouper for the day or snook for the day." So the variety we do, and they certainly can't get inside, right? That and the Boca there coming that Boca Norte coming out, those long range guys. They can come in. I'm in the south entrance, but those guys, are not going to come up the inside mangroves and fish that stuff. So if you want a true variety, and the ability to catch every species that you want to target and be able to do that, this is the way to go. And we picked, after 30 years or 35 years of being in Baja, listen, we could have picked any location we want. We could have been down in Cabo with Dave and Kelly, and I fished Cabo. I used to own condos right there in Cabo San Lucas at Plaza Las Glorias and Misiones del Cabo. And, I fished it 100 times and nothing wrong with it. It's just, if we could pick that one location, guys, we picked it for a reason. We didn't pick it to impress you guys. We picked it to impress us. And if it impresses us, then you guys are certainly going to be impressed because it's just that good there. It's just that good.
Yeah, it's a magical place. I just want to show everybody this little video I made up there that I queued up just so you can kind of see how remote and how magical this place is. This is right across the bay from the launch ramp. Look at this.
Well, all right, gang. Thank you very, very much. Everybody's loving these sand dune drone videos from Lopez Mateos. So I'll show you more and more of what I made. As long as you keep watching them and keep liking it and leaving those comments. There's another vulture flying around like a couple of videos ago.
Yeah.
But that boat right there is a whale watch boat. We're in the bay of Lopez Mateo, and there is a phenomenal amount of gray whales in here right now. Over there where you see that boat going real slow, straight across right there, he's on a cow-calf combination right there. There's lots of whales in the bay. It's a phenomenal area. Lopez Mateos, you can get there very, very easy. Flight into Loreto, and someone will pick you up and drive you over the hill. Leave a comment. Let me know.
And that's what we're talking about. That's where we're going. That's where we're going to be with Larry in just a couple days. I mean, that is just one of the gazillions of things to see and do there when you're there.
Yeah, and Dave, I'm so glad you mentioned it, which I'm remiss in doing sometimes. Obviously, as we talk about the fishing, we get going on, and you can't shut us up. But you mentioned you were there and did that video of the whale watching there. Listen, guys, the whale watching there is world class. We start that thing in January, February through mid-March, and listen, if you want a truly life-changing experience, go watch the whales. Go watch the whales in Lopez Mateos. The cool part about Lopez, as opposed to other locations, is you don't have to run for an hour and a half to get to the whales. You launch the boat, you put it in gear, you run around the corner, and oh, there's the whales, right? So, any of you guys out there that we're going to run the hotel during whale watching season, you can still fish the mangroves. We don't go outside, but if you want to do a combo trip where hey, we want to fish a couple days and see the whales at the same time, Lopez Mateos is one of those places. I've been to San Ignacio, and I've been to Guerrero Negro, and I've done it up there, and magical. Trust me, it's great. But you're on small pongas with life jackets, and you got to run a long way, and sometimes the weather's rough. Lopez Mateos is one of those places where they're right there. They're right around the corner when they come in and do their deal. So, if you haven't done that before, or you want to do the whale watching thing, ask us about that. We got a couple of echo groups coming that have decided to figure out how good it is, and it's becoming quite a little industry there. So we got the little 7-room hotel, and we do all the meals, and we're not open to the public on the meals. It's just for our clients only. And so if you want to do something like that and get some extra fishing credit from your wife for your next trip, take her down and do the whales in Lopez Mateos in February, March, or January, wherever they show up. You guys won't be disappointed in that.
No, not at all. And like Larry said, you can fish. That's when Mark Rayer and I fish, February and March up in Adolfo's Lopez Mateos. And the fishing is phenomenal, but we're driving around dodging whales. That's how many whales are there, gang. And you literally can stop and drop down a lure while you're watching the whale and catch a spotty in like a split second. And some other fish we were catching while we were watching whales, we were catching bonefish while we were watching the whales. There's just so much to do there. And then another thing you'll see when you're there, it's crazy. There are probably 200 people on this island, sand island, camping in these tents, eating sand every day. You can go hang out with Larry, go out on the ponga, have a great whale watching like you can't even, National Geographic doesn't even describe this. Literally hundreds of gray whales and baby whales everywhere you look. And then you get to go back to the hotel. Why those people are sitting in their tent, and those people that are sitting in their tents pay thousands and thousands of dollars to eat sand. It's crazy, and it's freezing cold. It is so cold. You guys have no idea, and that's why we don't fish the ridge that time of year, because the water's 57 degrees on the ridge in January, February, and March, whale watch time. So there's no reason to fish the ridge, but in that bay, halibut, really good halibut fishing, whale watch time, really good snook fishing, really good pargo fishing, and the spotties. But you can do both. You can go fishing early in the morning with Larry, and then get back. Your wife will be just getting up, getting ready, having her breakfast burrito, and then you can grab her and go whale watch for a few hours, and then come back to the hotel.
Exactly. Have the meal all prepared for you, and watch the baseball game on TV. We don't watch it anymore, but we'll do whatever you want to do. So it's sometimes I forget to mention that part of it, and I get kind of yelled at by a few people that I know, but it's awesome, guys. It's awesome. Go whale watching there. They have it, and then for the seafood portion of it, hey, listen, guys, best seafood in the world, right, Dave? I mean, we're getting the scallops, we're getting the shrimp they harvest right there in the bay. We get to have a lobster season. When this year when we go, I don't think lobster season will be over, but the shrimp season will be open. So we'll be doing shrimp and lobster a little bit later in the year, and the scallops, and all the fresh fish and the wahoo, and it's just all you want.
And then in this time of year, the water's too warm in there, but they have an oyster farm in there.
They do.
So you get the most freshest oysters you can't even comprehend. And I know a lot of people that follow me, you've seen the layout of the table with me and Mark Rayer. We got lobsters, we got scallops, we got oysters. You can eat the most seafood you've ever eaten, and you won't even believe the price. The price is crazy. And then if you speak the language, oh my gosh, then you're just like the king down there. The people are gonna just be so happy with you if you speak Spanish. And then the really cool thing that Larry has grabbed was Nesto and Ruben. Those guys are like the mayor and the vice president of Adolfo's Lopez Mateos. So whatever you need, you just ask Nesto and he's going to get it for you. It's pretty magical. And we're going to eat our last lobsters tomorrow night. Then I'm leaving to go up there, and I know I can go get more scallop. I don't know what the price is today, but I was getting kilos of scallops for $7 a kilo in Adolfo's Lopez Mateos. It's just amazing. Go find some scallops in California. I think you get one bite for $7.
Exactly. One scallop, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you can't really tell how, you really don't like Lopez Mateos, do you?
Yeah, I'm not excited about it at all.
Excited about going, are you?
I asked Larry already, you want me to come up earlier? You need me to be there?
Yeah,
Larry's
you
all,
want him to come up earlier, Larry? Yes, you do. I think you should go early.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're super excited about it. I'm going to put the QR code back up there, gang. If any of this sounds exciting or sounds fun, you definitely want to give Larry a call. It just takes away all that uncertainty of traveling into a foreign country. Tell them about if they fly into Loretto, what's going to happen? How's it going to be handled, Larry, so people can understand?
Perfect. So the best way to go is, Dave, as you know, you go through the CBX here in San Diego if you can get there and fly directly into Loretto. They fly in 3 or 4 times a week. The guys just send us their flight schedule. We show up at the airport. It's about a 2-hour trip for us one way. So we have a Suburban down there. It's real nice that we use to transport people. It's going down there. We're just having some work done on it. It's going down there Tuesday with us. So bring a full-size Suburban down, pick up your luggage. You right there at the airport, have a couple of cold cervezas or waters in the Suburban. Take the trip over to Lopez Mateos. Takes less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours over there. Up over the hills. It's a beautiful drive. Right through the hills between Loretto and Lopez Mateos. So pick you up and in the Suburban and tell some fish stories. Get to the lodge, get everything unpacked. At the lodge, we've got fully all the gear that you can possibly want. We got trolling rigs and jigs and all the cool stuff, and the nomads and the Rapalas and all the jigs and all the stuff to cast and spinning rods and stuff. I mean, you look at our stuff and, you know, like Dave looked up at our stuff in Alaska, and it's like we were better equipped than most of the tackle stores that were in you know, Gustavus. You know, we're basically, we're tackle whores. That's what we are. So we have plenty of tackle. So you get on that Suburban, you come over, you fish with us, you eat with us. We vacuum seal your catch up. You're ready to go back. We take you to the airport, drop you off. Your fish and your coolers all vac sealed commercially, frozen solid, and you check it back just like luggage on the plane, just like you would from anywhere else in Mexico. And that's pretty much the way it goes. You know, we each group, we try to find out, again, what's important to those guys and look at the weather. And, you know, a lot of times we might add an extra day in there somewhere, or do an extra day for sightseeing where we go see the oyster farms and do that. Really good day trip. There's some fishing areas down there. We're gonna bring some kayaks down this year, guys. I don't know how much kayak fishing we'll do, but you guys that have kayaks, it's a fishery. Listen, if you're a kayak fisherman, and I am not, I'm too big and fat and old to be on a kayak, just me personally. But if you're a kayak fisherman, you want to be in Lopez Mateos. All the mangroves and things down there. We can get you set up there. We can take the kayak and launch out there, and or probably this year, if not this year, the first next year, we'll have kayaks there. And if you want to go kayaking, you want to go exploring, you want to go dig clams, you want to go pick up, cut a deal on some shrimp to bring home and have us back seal that for you. Pretty much everything that you guys want to do, you know, it's we're trying to set it up where, you know, listen, you know, when I first went to Mexico, you know, I was scared. I'm not lying. I was young. I was in mid 20s and late 20s, I guess. And it's intimidating sometimes. You know, Dave and I know we laugh, we make fun of you guys because we can. But the reality is, guys, I feel safer in Lopez Mateos, Dave and Kelly, than I do in San Diego, California at night. If I was to walk down the street at Lopez Mateos at night, or walk down the street in San Diego, I feel safer in Lopez Mateos than I do in my hometown of San Diego. And so, listen, guys, there's nothing to be concerned about. You know, the only people that get in trouble down there in Mexico are people that are doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And if you're doing what you shouldn't be doing, then you shouldn't be coming with us, because we don't want you to be doing what you're not supposed to be doing, right? So you don't have to worry about what's going on. If you want some great food, some great fishing, some great camaraderie, you know, this is the place to go. We picked the spot because of the fishing. Yeah, it's not the Hilton. No, yeah, every once in a while there's a bug runs across the floor, Kelly. I'm sorry, you know, but it happens. You know, every once in a while we get a mouse, and every once in a while, you know, we get those things. That's part of the charm of it, you know. You know, that in that location. So really, that's the way it goes, Dave. You show up, we pick you up, we get you everything you need. Make sure you catch a bunch of fish, and then we send you on your way.
And the really cool thing about the CBX gang, it's there in Tijuana, but you don't even know you're in Mexico. The parking lot is secure. So if you're going to do a trip with me and Larry and come down there, your car's going to be parked in that parking lot for 5 days. That parking lot has security. They have like the most mind-numbing amount of security. I leave the keys in my car there because no one's touching nothing there. And then you walk inside of the building, and KellyGirl does it by herself.
Many times by myself.
All by herself. It is the most incredible experience. It's better than 99.9% of the airports in America.
So true.
You walk in, everything's taken care of. If you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, there's 50 people there to help you that are super excited to help you, which is really strange for what's going on in America. These people want to help you. They want it to be a great experience. You simply go up an escalator. You walk across the bridge that's about 1/8 of a mile long, but you don't even know you're on a bridge, gang. It's all enclosed, air conditioning. It's beautiful. Then you walk into the customs area. Everybody's cool there. They just ask you a simple question: how long are you going to be there? They stamp your passport, and you're in the airport.
And I love the Tijuana airport.
Yeah, it is clean,
so nice. Great
food, good drinks, at a fraction of the cost. Flying to Laredo out of there, you'll be blown away. You'll go, wait, this isn't right. It's less than $100. Wait a minute. How can that be? So, yeah, you can get Alaska to fly you to Laredo on their once a week flight or whatever for $800 or $900 for a round trip. Or you could simply drive your car to the border in San Diego and walk across, but you don't even know you're in Mexico, right?
Right.
You don't even know. And then you land in Loretto and Larry's there with the Suburban, picks you up. There's nothing to be afraid of. But I'll tell you something I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. When you get to Adolfo's Lopez Mateos, there is nothing there. Okay? You're not going to get a bar. You're not going to get a place where the girls take off their clothes. You're not going to get a massage. You're not going to get any of that crap. There's not going to be music all night long, super loud. You're going to be in a place where you best have brought the pesos that you're going to spend because there's no bank. You're not going to get to go to an ATM machine. You're not, Larry or whoever's driving Suburban will ask you, and you'll stop in that little town just outside of Constitucion. You can pull into the liquor store if you need some type of liquor that you have to have, something special. You can stop there and get it, but you're going to want to make sure you got what you need. We're not going to the ATM machine. There is not one in town. There's no cash.
There's no Target there.
No Target, no
Target.
Sephora, no Ulta. No, there's nothing really there. Thank goodness Larry's put together the restaurant in the lodge, because I'll tell you what, if you're not eating in there, you're pretty much not eating.
Yeah, there's some really limited stuff, and we kind of went back and forth with this, but we decided that we really want to be in the restaurant business. We want to be in the fishing business, and we do some really excellent meals out of there, and Nestor's doing a good job of training some people and doing better meals. So that'll get up to Alaska quality eventually. A little town you talk about is called Insurgentes. Excuse me. Insurgentes is a town before you into Lopez Mateos. If guys there, I mean, they got little places there to get some ice and some alcohol and things, but really small Mexican town. Hey, listen, guys, we have internet. Elon was kind enough to sell us a little setup where Elon took care of us down there, and he made it cheaper than it was for even Alaska. So Elon hooked us up with a little Starlink, and I sent him a personal note, thank you. So Elon got us hooked up, and we got that. We got Starlink, and we got we stream old people music because Dave and I are old and Kelly's not, but we stream some old people music there at night. We cut that off about 9:00, and everybody gets a good night's sleep. And we're not against an adult beverage. I have mine every once in a while, but it's all you guys know. You guys. Dave has a saying. It says, "If you know, you know." You guys know what we're talking about, and you guys that don't know should know. Right. So when we're talking about the stuff, the guys that maybe either travel with us or been on these trips, and they're listening to Dave and I talk, you guys know. You guys know that we know what we're saying, and you guys know what the experience is. You guys that don't know, what are you waiting for? Because there's one thing for damn sure: none of us are getting any younger. Especially me, right? So you want to fish with me, you better make it the next, 3 days or something, because I don't know how much longer I can last with the guys. I mean, it's tough. No, Dave and I talk about this at our seminars, and we'll mention it real quick here. And we talk about this a lot, and done the shows for a number of years. Dave's done the show for a number of years, and we see these guys, the guys that come in every year, and they point at us as they walk by the booth, and they walk by and they look at us and they go, "Yep, it's on my bucket list, right?" And we see them every year. You know what's wrong with bucket lists? You usually kick the bucket before you fill the list, right? And I can tell you a lot of sad stories right now. I'm not going to, because we're trying to keep the show upbeat and talk about fun stuff. But I can tell you a couple of stories where guys that waited too long to fill the bucket list, and waited too long to go with their kids, and waited too long to take their spouse whale watching. I've got a list of them that I could share with people and say, don't be this guy. Don't be this guy, because you don't know. You don't know when the last trip's going to be. So what I would say to you guys is, even if it's something where, you just want to plan it. If you want to plan it for 5 years from now, plan it. Plan it for 5 years from now, but keep the plan. Do it in 5 years from now. But don't sit back and say, I'm going to do it someday, because, if tomorrow never comes, we missed it. I'll tell you real quick sad story about my buddy who, we first started this PSA, Panama was our big thing. And the guy worked as a guide his entire life, and saved every penny, and did guides for 30 years, and finally retired, and went to Panama. And guys, we were 2 weeks from opening the lodge in Panama, the Airbnb, and we had boats, and we had everything ready to go. And 2 weeks before we were due to open. He got that nasty little disease, whatever you want to call it, going around. He was dead 2 weeks later. Saved his money his whole life to do this one thing and never got a chance to do it. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what happened to us. That's why I kind of had tears coming out of my eyes when that little plane landed on the peninsula there in Gustavus, because my dad and I were supposed to do an Alaska trip together, okay? And it didn't happen. And I could start crying right now. Gang, Anthony Shea summed it up perfect the other day at War Heroes on Water. If you're waiting for the perfect time to go, if you're waiting until you have this or that set up, then it'll be too late. You don't want bucket list. All you want to have is memories. You want to make them as fast and as quickly as you can. None of us are getting any younger, gang, and stuff happens so quick and it's over so fast. This was such a great opportunity for Kelly and I to come up there, Larry. Once again, I cannot thank you enough. That was bucket list trip of a lifetime, and everybody that I talked to all says, gosh, I wish I would have been there. Gang, there's no reason for you to not be there. And especially this Adolfo's Lopez Mateos. Talk about something that's attainable and it's not going to break your bank. The Alaska, yeah, there's a lot involved. The flights and the lodging and trying to get there. It's a huge event. It's worth every penny.
Worth it.
Don't get me wrong. It's worth every penny. But this Adolfo's Lopez Mateos, it's super attainable from everywhere. It's something that you can practically touch. It's so close and it's so spectacular. It's like Jurassic Park, if you can imagine, or what California must have been like before people lived there. That's what it's like down there. It is just so magical and so many things that you can't even comprehend you're going to see. So try to make sure that you call Larry. And Larry, there's a lot of people listening on Spotify and Apple that don't get to see the QR code. So why don't we go slow? Give them your person or your phone number so they can get a hold of you, so they can be a part of this. We're just going to keep taking people down there. This is the very beginning of the season down there. So Larry,
Perfect.
Your number.
Absolutely. Best way to reach me, guys, is my cell's in and out, but I'm going to give you the office number, and they'll, if they can't find me, they'll send you directly my cell. Office number, 760-331-2650. Again, 760-331-2650. Don't call me right now because I'm on the show with Dave and I'm not going to pick up. All right. I know some of you guys out there. I've been a fish with some of you guys would do that. 760-331-2650. Listen, if you, I say this to guys all the time. It's amazing. Dave, I go to these shows and you go to the shows and the guy will come up to me and I want to do this. And I'll say, listen, we don't do that, but I got some really good information on guys who can do that. Call me, send me an email, and I'll help you. Never hear from them again. We're offering you guys free advice, free help. We're not going to send you a bill. We're not going to ask for your firstborn child. We're not going to even make you give us a fishing jig. We're not going to do any of that stuff. Even if you never use us, Dave all the time. It's like, just ask me, just call me. I'm in Alaska. I'm watching the guy, we're on the boat and we're on a hot bite and lingcod, and the son of a gun is taking calls from guys that, well, no, you rigged this way. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, well, I got to help this guy. I'm like, well, you want to catch that fish first? Because that's we're going to help you. If you guys want to know how to rig that lingcod thing, or you want to know how we catch this halibut on the jigs, the way we fished up there, most guys don't. Most guys don't know how to fish the halibut jigs like we did. And thanks to Promar, those Ahi jigs were working great. And those big baits from those big baits we had from those lingcod baits.
Those from Okuma, the mackerel ones,
absolutely killer, guys. So we're fishing some cool stuff that you guys may have never got a chance to fish for, and it's part of our deal. They give them to us. They want us to go out there and shoot videos, right? They want us to go out there and catch a fish with these pleas, and you guys get to try all that new stuff, so do that.
Yeah, don't hesitate, gang, and give Larry a call. And if enough of you guys get interested, we'll throw together a couple more of these trips where I come up. It's only a 5-hour drive for me from here. So if enough of you call Larry and say, hey, we want to do another trip, November, December, there's not a bad time to fish in Adolfo's Lopez Mateos, just that Larry's going to split and go back up to Alaska. That's the only thing that's going to stop. Poor Larry. He has to go to Alaska and Adolfo's, poor guy.
I got a tough life, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and he's not trying to make a house payment off of your trip, gang. If you compare what we did in Alaska to what the other people are charging, I talked to guys that were on the dock with us, and they were paying double what Larry was charging, double. And then they have to have their fish taken over to Larry's processing plant, and they have to pay for that too. But Larry owns the plant, so when you go, the savings is astronomical, but every part of it is just magical, right, baby girl?
Yes, absolutely.
Kelly wanted to make sure she was on here so that you all understood Larry and I aren't just filling you up with lies. KellyGirl doesn't lie. There's no lying in her. So she wanted to be here to make sure that you all understood we're talking truth here, right?
Absolutely.
Do you have
that one thing about the underwear, but we can't talk about that now.
Yeah. All right, now moving on.
Moving on. So Larry, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that we got to tell everybody because they've been watching. I made so many great videos and we're still putting out more. Just Jesse, here's something you guys don't. Well, Jesse, who runs the plant for Larry, plus takes care of the boat and all the tackle, and he's just a magical man, and his wife is more hardcore than he is. Carmen, she's like at a totally different level than all of us. She has no slowdown in her. We made a video of him filleting a halibut, and he was explaining to people that he worked up there in Alaska where he filleted somewhere between 400 and 600 halibut a day. And people are like, yeah, it did. It happened every day. You can do it blindfolded. I made one video of him filleting a halibut. It's got 1.9 million views on Instagram in 5 days. Gang, it's incredible. If you haven't seen that, go look at our post on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. If you want to try to feel what it was like to be up there with Larry, it was incredible. On the boat or in the river, there was never a time where we weren't just laughing and having the time of our lives. And then the house. You can't say enough about the house. KellyGirl loved the house. Loved the house.
That was great.
Great big washer and dryer. Kelly loves to wash clothes.
Ice maker. I love the ice maker. It was great. It was great. But that was such a fun part of the whole trip was, having dinner with everyone, and then afterward, sitting down on the big couch with the, big screen, flat screen TV, watching whatever, just laughing.
Watching the debate.
Yeah. That was fun. It was great. Great trip.
Yeah. Can't emphasize it enough. So I'm going to throw the QR code up there one last time for all of you, and then we're going to get going. Larry and I both got a ton of stuff to do before next week. So, Larry, I can't thank you enough for your hospitality and everything you do for me and KellyGirl. Thank you so much. And gang, I want you all to be a part of this. So Larry and I will put together some dates for Alaska as soon as we possibly can. Let us get through this Adolfo's Lopez Mateo stuff. We got a lot of stuff to do in the next few months for that, but we'll put together some dates. You'll have an opportunity to come fish with us up there, but come to Mexico and fish with us, please.
It's going to be an awesome year. It's going to be an awesome season. Nestor's blowing up my phone right now, telling me about all the fish. I got to go answer Nestor here in just a minute.
All right, so there's the QR code, gang. Don't forget, give Larry a call if you want to know more about it. And if you're afraid to call Larry, you can call me, and then I'll tell you to call Larry.
Don't be afraid to call Larry.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much
Larry.
for a great
guys.
day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very, very much. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, bye, Larry.
Bye, Larry.
All right, everybody. Your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen with KellyGirl. We got to thank everybody over at fishingbooker.com too for always being there for us. If you guys are going anywhere on the planet Earth to go fishing and you don't know who to go with and you're not a member of Larry's club, check out fishingbooker.com. They'll make sure that you get on a boat of quality and catch cool fish that you want to catch. So check out fishingbooker.com for all your fishing needs wherever you end up going. And thank you all.